Hi, welcome to another episode of the Out of Office Club. Thank you for listening again this week. I've got I think, very interesting topic today, something that I have been thinking about for the past couple of days, and also even is half the reason why I'm back in Bangkok. So I think this is a really good episode to kind of think differently about the digital nomad life, and one of the, I think, biggest benefits there is about this lifestyle. So, quick update. I think last week I was already in Bangkok. This week still in Bangkok, but in a new apartment. So I did move last weekend. I have been here now, I think, 3 days, and I absolutely love it. This is such a nice place. The apartment itself is very small, but I mean, I don't need much space. I've got a little workplace here, separate bathroom, bedroom, and a little room for clothes as well. It's perfect. And then the building itself's got a pool and a gym. So I have everything I need in this apartment, and I could not be happier. Doing well. Just been working a lot, playing a lot of padel. Just the usual, I would say. Not too much to tell you about that. What else have I been doing? No dating updates, unfortunately. I haven't really dated much in the past weeks, I have to say. Of course, I'm still on the apps, but I go through these phases, and sometimes I've got like a week or a couple days where I scroll quite a bit and I text a bit, and then other weeks I'm just can't be bothered. And I think right now I just can't really be bothered. So I might have a date this week, maybe next week. But I don't have that much update for you on that side. Then let's get into it, because what I wanted to talk about today was how much your environment impacts basically everything. And I'm noticing it a lot now, and I think it's also half the reason why I came, or most 80% of the reason why I came back to Bangkok, to be honest. Your environment just does so much to your mood, your routines, your, I think, mental health, your physical health, just so much. And that does not just have to do with the country or the city that you're in. It is, of course, also very much the space that you live in. I notice it a lot where I've spoken about this before, but sometimes I've stayed in an apartment that was, for example, just not very comfortable, too small or even too big. That can happen too. And you just don't really feel at home. You just don't really feel like you're comfortable, like you can really relax there or work there. And for me, that really impacts how I feel every day, because waking up in a space where you don't feel at home, even though the places that I stay at are, I know, Airbnbs, and they're all temporary and none of it is mine. I still feel a sense of home in every apartment that I book. I mean, this I booked for a month and I already love it. It's only been 3 days, but I do really enjoy staying here. And that makes me feel a lot happier. I wake up and I'm like, oh, nice. This is like my own little space, even if it's temporary. And I enjoy it. Just also having a place to work. Like this has right here a small little desk chair and is right in front of a window. That already makes working here easier, more fun, and easier just in general. And that is why I think it is so important to do your research before you book anything. Make sure that the space is what you need, whether that is a big space, a small space, doesn't matter. For me, these really small little studios or apartments are perfect. I don't need more than this. I don't need a lot of space. I don't need anything fancy, but there's certain comforts that I want. Like I just, especially now in Asia, I really want AC, which I have here. I want some windows. I mean, I don't know if you guys remember, but back in January when I was in Bangkok, I had an apartment for 2 weeks with no windows. That was rough. Okay, that was not, waking up was hard. I just didn't want to be in that room because it was kind of suffocating. I don't recommend doing that. I really don't. I really, really don't. And of course, apart from the apartment itself or the space that you stay in, even if that's a hostel, you know, I know for me that doesn't work anymore just because it means I have to share my space, which I find tough. But even if it's a hostel, you want to make sure it's a nice hostel, that they have a nice community space where it's easy to meet people. They have a good reception. They have friendly people that work there. They also maybe do have a workspace, a working kitchen. You know, those things make a difference, especially when you're somewhere for a long time. Next is, of course, the neighborhood. I know I am lazy. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I'm a lazy traveler, and for me, it is quite important that wherever it is I'm staying is close to certain things. Now, I do have to preface this. This apartment is not necessarily location-wise the best. It's in a good neighborhood, but it's not close to like a 7-Eleven, for example. But of course, in Thailand, that's easily fixed because of delivery, which is very good, very fast, and very cheap. But those things, especially in more expensive countries, make a really big difference. Being able to just walk out of your apartment and get yourself some healthy and good food, get yourself to a gym, they all make sticking to good habits so much easier. Right now, at least from here, I can walk to one of the main paddle courts, which is amazing. So 20-minute walk, maybe, yeah, around 20-25 minutes, which is perfect, like a warm up almost. And I'm there. I can, of course, get food delivered. I could also walk about 15 minutes to the nearest 7-Eleven. There is a gym in my apartment. So all of those things just make life a lot easier, a lot more comfortable. I know personally that when I've stayed in more remote places, although yes, it sounds very romantic and peaceful and nice, it's also tough when every time you need anything, it's quite a hassle to get it. Again, depends how much you love walking, how active you are, what you want to do with your time. But again, I am a bit of a lazy traveler. Plus, I also have to work. I have a lot of other things I need to do and want to do, like exploring and meeting people and working. And I then do not also want to worry about how to get food, where to get food, what do I do, how do I get to the gym, how can I get around town even. Like if you're far from public transportation, it becomes so much harder to socialize and meet people and go to events. And expensive too. Speaking of remote, I've noticed, again, this changes, and sometimes I do want something more remote, but very often I do want to be in the city center. Not because I like the busyness and the chaos, but because I like the access. So when I'm in the middle of the city somewhere, it's very likely that all of the events are close to me. All of the touristy things are easy to access, public transportation, everything. And I think that's just what I, at the moment, really prefer, because I want to be around people and I want to be active. So that becomes a lot easier when you're in a more busy, active city and when you stay closer to the city center. I think that that's important. And I guess on top of that, apart from your environment, of course, who you hang out with is so important. People also really influence your life. And right now, I think also because, of course, I started playing padel, for example, I now have a lot of people that also play padel, which means I now play more padel. While I also know that when I had friends that either did not play padel or maybe they partied a lot, that meant I went out more because they would invite me out. So I would go out more. I also, in January, had some friends that went to a coworking place a lot. That meant I went more. So I think all of this is so important wherever you go, whether you stay in one country, whether you move around a lot. It's I think quite good to be quite selective in this. And again, I think that's why I came back to Bangkok. I really liked my routine here in January. I was immediately being healthier, working out more. I was very productive. I was very happy. I was just, the lifestyle here is really nice. People are really friendly. The weather is good. I don't think it rained since I got here. It's really bright. It's nice, and that makes me happier in general, more productive, healthier. And that's all because of this space and the environment that I have here and the routines and the people. When I was in the Philippines, for example, last month, I loved it, but it was a lot harder to be as active and as healthy. And I was staying in a homestay that was a bit more isolated. Of course, I was also on an island, so there was a bit less to do. I still played a lot of padel and met great people, but definitely wasn't as fast paced as it is now. And that, again, really depends on what you want. But I, at the moment, want something a bit more fast paced. So therefore, a bigger city suits me best. So why I think that this is such a benefit of the digital nomad life is you literally get to choose. You get to pick in what kind of environment you want to be. You get to pick every time who you hang out with, what you focus on, even more than if you would stay in one place, because they're kind of your social circle and what you can do are kind of set. Of course, you can change, but it's probably a lot harder. While as a digital nomad, you're so flexible that if you really like it somewhere and you like your routines and you like who you are and who you could become there, you can stay. And if you don't, you can change it easily. I have also stayed in multiple places in the same city where I already then noticed a really big difference in my day-to-day and how I felt. And I think that's the best part. As a digital nomad, you can ask yourself, okay, what for the next month or next months, depending on how long you want to stay in one place, what do I want to focus on? Is that really just work? Is it productivity? Is it fitness? Is it food, like eating healthy, mindful, you name it? And then pick something that really fits that. That's going to help that. That's going to make it easier. Right now, or especially also in the Philippines, the Wi-Fi situation was quite bad. Not everywhere, but it was generally really slow. And that also meant that even though I was working, everything went slower. It was more effort. It took 3 days to upload a podcast episode. That's a 20-minute video. So every time I did any kind of work, I just needed a lot more patience. I needed to wait. Not great for productivity and motivation to work. So now I have so many co-working places around me and I have really good Wi-Fi in my apartment. It becomes a lot easier and faster and nicer to work, which I of course really enjoy. So it's good to be aware of those things and then just pick what you want to focus on. Do you not like it somewhere? You're too far from a certain thing, from a certain goal, like say you want to go to the gym 5 times a week, then pick an apartment that's literally next to a gym. It's the easiest way to allow yourself to reach your goals, because many goals are hard to achieve and they all come down to consistency. And the easier you make it for yourself to be consistent, the easier it's going to become to reach your goals. So, just be smart about that choice and about what you want. I would also say, and I know that is something I'm fortunate enough to say, but I do think sometimes it is good to invest in that too. I know that sometimes being in the right place, having the nice apartment, being in the right location is more expensive, but then it also feels like a really good investment. Yes, this apartment is more expensive than the last one I had, but then I also feel better in that place or in this place, for example. And because of that, I work more, I socialize more, I eat better, I sleep better. All of those things that just really, in the end, I think, work in your favor. They will also help you, in the end, make more money, probably because you're more productive, because you're happier, because you're more motivated. Everything stacks up, I think, so much. All of those small things that you do to build those better habits and routines, be in the right headspace, be in the right space in general, surrounded by the right people. Those things are worth an investment of sorts. Those things, I think, are worth spending money on. They make a really, really big difference. So yeah, definitely ask yourself, what do I really need to function well? What do I need to be happy? What is my main goals? What do I want to focus on? And pick your country, the city, and your apartment based on that. Try it. I only came to Bangkok for a month. Now I'm back for 2 months. Maybe at the end of the year, come back again. I don't know. But I definitely knew now when I will move again, because I can only stay for 2 months on the visa. There's certain things that I'm going to look for that I really want, because I want to keep up the habits that I have here. Match your destination to whatever version it is that you want to be, right? Do you want to work out a lot? Make sure you're close to a gym, or whatever sport it is that you do, make sure you're close to it. Right now I'm close to padel and tennis, so I'm happy, and a gym. So I'm extremely happy. I'm in the perfect place. I'm working out almost every day. I love it. I absolutely love it. And I think in general also, it is go back to places that worked really well for you, where you felt happy. I think sometimes as digital nomads or as travelers in general, we feel the need to always go somewhere new, to keep checking places off our list. I mean, I'm definitely guilty of that too, feeling a bit like, oh, maybe it's a waste if I go back to Thailand, because I could be going to countries that I haven't been to yet and explore something new. And while that is very true and would be really fun, it is also just, this is in the end, this is my life, and I also just want to enjoy it, and I also just need to work, and I have certain fitness goals and work goals and personal goals. So sometimes it's good to go back. It's not boring. It is smart. It's smart to do that. Stay in places where, that work in your favor, that help you move forward. And yeah, the same thing goes for the people that you hang out with. Right now, I'm very happy that a lot of my friends work for themselves as well, go to co-working places, play paddle. Like, they motivate me to also build those better routines, to stay productive, to stay healthy. And it is really nice to be surrounded by people that understand your goals and have some similar ones even, so that you can motivate each other. So all of that to say, be picky, be clear on what you want to achieve, and be picky on how you're going to get that and what the best environment is for you to stay at. And I know that might cost a bit of an extra investment sometimes to stay in a nicer place, but it doesn't have to be, even on a budget. I know that I've stayed in really nice places on a budget and still been able to have really good habits and routines. Make sure you surround yourself with the right people. If someone is not in any way like a positive influence, don't hang out with them as much. Which, again, is a lot easier to do when you're a digital nomad, because you don't owe anyone anything. It's not like you have the social pressure, maybe, for if you live in a small town where everyone knows everyone, right? You don't have that. So yeah, be picky. Allow yourself the right space. Be picky with who you hang out with. And then I think the digital nomad life is just perfect for it, and can give you so much, and so much room to grow and reach goals, and I think it's the best. So that was my little rant and tips about the importance of your location and environment in general. Next week I want to talk about things that I no longer compensate on as a solo traveler or digital nomad, kind of a mix. I'm still planning out exactly what I want to talk about and how, but that is, I think, what I'm going to plan for next week. Of course, it might change. This weekend, actually, in Bangkok is Songkran, if I'm saying that right. It is this big water party, water festival that they have, where for a couple days, just the whole city walks around with like water guns, and there's festivals and everyone's out on the street and partying. So I will also give you an update on that next week and what it is like, because it already starts this weekend. So I'm very, very excited for that. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Also means I have to work a lot more this week, but that's fine. So thank you again for listening. Oh, and don't forget to check on my website. I have a free guide. I have a paid guide on how to get started as a digital nomad and make your first 1,000 years online. There's also a lot of free resources, discount codes, everything that things that I use myself. So do yourself a favor and look at my website for a bit. You can find the link anywhere, but it's StellaSantiero, just my name.com. Let me know what you think of this episode. If you have any comments, questions, always happy to receive those, whether it is wherever it is that you're listening or on Instagram, doesn't matter. I hope you have a really nice week, and then I hope to see you again next week. Thank you so much. Bye bye.